Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Friday, February 2nd. Right now, we are looking at some free agent edge rushers the Jaguars should pursue in 2024. Long list to get into, a lot of names that are out there. We're going to talk about all of it. Senior Bowl practices there in the books. We did our Senior Bowl mock draft yesterday. Go check that out. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content here, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also check out genjag.com/shop. Pick up some new Duval gear. Really appreciate y'all. So, looking at the Jaguars situation with edge, right? They have Trayvon Walker under contract for a while. Former first overall pick. Josh Allen is set to be a free agent. You may have heard of him. Set the single season franchise record for sacks last year. Second all time on the franchise sack list. Okay? This is a guy the Jaguars have to bring back. And I don't want to belabor the fact that they should have signed him last offseason, which I said, that they should have already been negotiating with him. You know, Trent Baalke came out last week, about a week ago, and said that, you know, Josh Allen's going to be a Jaguar in 2024. And then also proceeded to tell you they haven't started negotiating a new contract yet. And then Josh Allen's agent comes out the next day and says, we're willing and ready and waiting to start contract negotiations. And we're not happy that Trent Baalke's talking about it with the media, but not us. So who knows what's going to happen there. I'm not excited about it. Not happy about it. Just sign the man. He has earned it. He wants to be here. Sign the man. But not going to go off on a too much of a tangent there beyond what I've already said. But beyond those two, assuming Josh Allen is back, beyond those two, you need depth. I don't think you're pursuing a starting caliber player. I think you're looking for guys, multiple guys potentially, whether it be through free agency, the draft, etc., that can come in and provide depth in multiple ways. Definitely pass rush, critical. The Jaguars did not have enough edge rush beyond Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker this year, but they also didn't have guys that could just come in and get the job done in a variety of ways. So again, you hopefully have Josh Allen, you have Trayvon Walker, and I don't believe Josh Allen's going to show up with the franchise tag. So I think they're going to need to get something done. Could be a long, lengthy, annoying process. Sorry to tell you. But it looks like there's some guys out there set to hit free agency that could be very good depth pieces. And again, there are some guys that are starting caliber players. Danielle Hunter, Brian Burns, Chase Young, even Jonathan Grenard. I think these players are signing to be starters in 2024, period. So we're not talking about those guys. Sure, the Jaguars could decide that they want to pay Josh Allen and bring in one of those guys. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't make sense from their perspective. Why would they go somewhere where they're not guaranteed to start? So we're talking about designated pass rusher types and some other guys that can provide different types of depth here on the show today. So starting with the designated pass rushers, because Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, they are great run defenders. If you have both of those guys, I think your third guy should be someone who can get you some juice against the pass. Bryce Huff from the New York Jets is 25 years old. He has been one of the best designated pass rushers in football the last couple years. This is a guy who generates pressure at an extremely high level. I think he would be a fantastic signing. And because he hasn't shown that he can, I don't know that a team will sign him to be a starter. I think a team is going to sign him to try to be exactly what the Jaguars need, like a third piece in your edge room. Same thing with Josh Uche, another AFC East guy from the New England Patriots. He might be the one that I want the most. He is not big. He's not the strongest guy. But when it comes to just being a pure pass rusher, I love what Josh Uche brings to the table. A guy that is only 25, a guy that has all the pass rush juice you could be looking for. But again, might not fit exactly what the Jaguars want up front, because what you've seen from Ryan Nielsen from the New Orleans Saints, which is kind of where you're probably looking at for this Jaguars defensive blueprint over the last few years, they have had big, physical, defensive end edge rushers, right? Talk about Calais Campbell, who is a free agent. You talk about Cameron Jordan, some of these other guys. Now, could they be in on having another different type of pass rusher? I think so. And so I think Josh Uche makes a lot of sense there. I think Andrew Van Ginkel makes a lot of sense as well. He's 28 years old. He's been a quality designated pass rusher for the Dolphins for a while. I like him a lot. Leonard Floyd, he's going to follow the money. He's 31. Is anyone going to offer him a real starter level deal? I don't think so. But he could be an option for you. Still knows how to get after the quarterback, how to create pressure at a high level. Got a couple former Eagles. Maybe they want to reunite with Doug Peterson. Brandon Graham is 33 years old. I still think he can get the job done as a DPR, as evidenced by his play over the last couple years. Derek Barnett, still only 27 years old. Eagles decided to part ways with him this year. Houston snatched him up real quick. And he balled. He was a baller for the Houston Texans after he arrived. This is a guy that I still think has plenty of juice left in the tank, and maybe you bring him in. Two guys that have a lot of familiarity with Doug Peterson. There are some bigger guys out there, as I mentioned. Jadeveon Clowney, you might have heard of him. He was in the building last year. Trent Baalke remembers that well. I don't know if he remembers what happened after that. He doesn't live in the past, doesn't live with regret. Well, he should regret not signing Jadeveon Clowney last year. He's about to turn 31. Maybe he'll sign him this year. Dorrance Armstrong from the Dallas Cowboys. He has been a third or fourth edge type of guy. He's 26 years old. Maybe he's looking to have an opportunity to start somewhere. It will not be in Jacksonville unless they completely fumble the bag with the Jaguar or with Josh Allen, excuse me. But Dorrance Armstrong, if you're able to convince him to come here, be your third edge rusher, be a guy that can thrive in this type of defense. He's physical, he's athletic, guy that can get the job done. Calais Campbell, as I mentioned, he is the elder statesman of this group, but he's also the mayor of Saxonville. He also played at an extremely high level in Ryan Nielsen's defense last year. Yes, I would be very much in on bringing Calais Campbell back to Duval. They flirted with it last year, but apparently the contract they offered Calais was insulting. So will he come back? I doubt it, but maybe he'll want to follow Ryan Nielsen. Maybe he'll have, some nostalgia building up for Jacksonville. Who knows? Danico Autry, Tennessee Titan. He's 33 years old, but he is a big physical edge. I mean, this is a guy kind of in that Calais Campbell mold, not as tall as Calais, but when you talk about being a big physical defensive end, edge defender, that's what Danico Autry is for you. You can move around the front. Mike Dana is 26 years old, Kansas City Chief. He's a guy that's done a lot for them over the last couple years, been unheralded, but a guy that just makes big plays in big moments. You need players like that. AJ Epinesa is 25. I can't believe he's only 25, but was a young prospect entering the NFL out of Iowa several years back. A guy that had his way with the Jaguars, with the Buffalo Bills earlier this year. Wasn't able to get the Bills the win against the Jaguars, but a guy who, again, as your third defensive end in a system like this, I think could make a lot of sense. Carl Lawson is still only 28 years old. Feels like he's been in the league forever. But a guy that signed a big contract a few years ago with the Jets. Injuries have kind of stymied his career, but is he a Trent Baalke type? On paper, no. I mean, he has some of the shortest arms you've ever seen for an edge rusher, but a guy that I still think could get the job done as a designated pass rusher for you. Bud Dupree, he's about to turn 31, played for Ryan Nielsen last year. Maybe that's an option, not a frontline option, not one of the most exciting options, but maybe if he's your edge 4, you could feel pretty good about that. There are a ton of guys out there that could provide depth for the Jaguars in 2024 at the edge position. We've already looked at some interior offensive linemen, some interior defensive linemen, some wide receivers. You can go check those shows out if you missed them. But this has been the edge rushers. I think the Jaguars fumbled the bag. They made a huge mistake last year not pursuing any free agent depth at edge rusher. Trent Baalke. Hopefully he learned from his mistakes. But by the way he talks about last offseason, it doesn't really seem like he learned from his mistakes. We will see how it plays out. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also check out ginjag.com/shop. Pick up some Duval gear. Y'all have a good weekend.